Hey, what's happening, nation? It's Joku. For those of you that have been subbed to the channel for a while, you know I like making these kinds of videos. For those of you guys that are new to it, every now and again, when a video really gets a bunch of comments, I like to go out there and just read through your guys' comments and just put them out there for everybody to hear. Everybody has a different opinion about where this team is headed and what we need to do. So I think it's really cool to go out there and just kind of put it out there for everybody to hear exactly what you guys are thinking, because a lot of people, they might watch a video, but they don't always go through the comment section. And you guys deserve to have your voices heard out there. So that's what these videos are all about. If I slaughter your name, I am real sorry. It is what it is. And if you're in here in the live chat, feel free to comment on these people's opinions. Just don't be an ass about it. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody deserves it. So let's try to keep it cool. But I just wanted to go through a few. I'll try to make it through all of them. I don't know if I will. I got to work in the morning. But we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to go ahead and jump into it. Oh, catch up what's happening, dude. Let's start it. Let's start it and see what people are saying. We'll start with Jonathan. We need an insurance for Collins after this season. Don't know if he's going to stay after this year. That one kind of blew my mind. I really thought we were going to bring Collins in for a longer deal, but he was pretty much on a one-year prove-it deal. So I'm not sure what's happening with that, especially since he's so young. I know it's easier to sign people to a one-year contract just because it costs you a little bit less up front. So maybe that's what it was, and then we told him, show up and prove it, and then you'll get paid. I'd like to see him stick around, though. Chevy Silver Raider says, I hope Daryl Worley stays, though. Haven't heard much about him. Another Worley fan. Take that all day. He's still sitting out on free agency. I mean, it is what it is with Worley. I really don't think we'll see any team go after him or target him until after the draft, when teams are really kind of seeing what they have. And he'll probably come in as a camp body for somebody. I hope he comes back to ours and wins a spot, but I'm curious to see what happens with him myself. Loyal to the soil. Oh, Chris, what's good, dude? Honestly, we need to move on from Lamar Joyner. Bro is getting smoked all the time and has no ball hawk eye. To me, he seems washed up. I'm right there with you. Seems completely washed up to me too. And I mean, I know that's why we brought in Randall. That dude is a ball hawk. And between him and Abram hitting hard, it's going to be a big, big difference out there. Joyner has to prove something. I will give you that. If he doesn't, he needs to go. Sergio, I'd love to add McKinney and Mims. Dude, that was like my ideal draft for a minute. I promise you that. Don't know if we're going to be targeting a safety out there or not, so I'm curious to see what happens with that. If we do, it'll probably end up being late. I don't see us going after one of those bigger names, but we'll just have to wait and see how it is. Gregory, I think Johnson can be a very good starting cornerback and use a third-round pick on another cornerback for depth. What do you think? I like Johnson. I really hope Johnson can win that starting role, because if Johnson can win that starting role, I think that would be a huge difference for us. But there are a lot of people in this comment section talking about that AJ Terrell kid, so I'm curious to see what happens with that. If he is another Mullins, I'd say do it, like pull the trigger on it. Brian, breaking down a little bit of draft here. Number 12, we get Ruggs. A lot of people are high on Ruggs. He's still at the top of my list. I know what he brings to the table. Just think there's better talent out there, so I'm curious to see what happens with that. And then at 19, Titans get the first, the second, and the fifth. So we're trading with the Titans there. Then a cornerback. Then in the second round, we get a wide receiver. Then a DN, a cornerback, and a tight end. Bringing Dylan in the fourth. I like that move. I will give you that. Fifth round, linebacker and O-line. So I'm curious to see, dude, because I'll tell you right now, if we're going to trade back that 19 pick, and a lot of people have been talking about this, and they're like, we'll trade back 19, we'll get a first and a second. You're not going to get somebody's first and second for trading back 4 spots in a draft unless you're coughing up. I mean, honestly, as far as our team's concerned, unless you're going to attach Derek Carr or Gabe Jackson to that deal, you're not pulling that trade off. And if you were going to pull it off, you were going to be dropping other picks in there. And I'll tell you right now that Mayock is not going to lose any of his picks. He's looking to add picks. That's the only damn thing that scares me about Gabe Jackson and Carr, is because I can see them pulling that trade off to where we trade back and they get our 19 pick and they get Derek Carr and we get their first round and their second round pick. That's a real possibility, but either way that worked out, I did not think that would work at our advantage. So Fierce, dude, what's going on? Long time follower. As far as a defensive tackle, Jonathan Hankins isn't he only there for the rushing downs? He is pretty much, but Hankins has played pretty damn good for us. He gets his hands up a good bit, and he gets a decent pass rush. I like Hankins, and I did say that he starts most of our games only because they usually start that running lineup depending on what team we're playing. But the majority of the time, the first down, you're going to have your biggest lineup in there. Ariel, this dude was a new subscriber. He was pretty cool. He told me if I ever came to Vegas, he'd buy me a beer, and I will totally take you up on that. This is the first time I've come across any of your videos. Great job. Just subscribed. I appreciate that, man. Love your assessments and put up your defense. I'm jacked for this season. Dude, I'm so fucking pumped for this season. I can't even put it into words. Neville says, Raider fan since 87. Just subscribed. Oh, man. Where did mine? Okay, there we go. Not bad. I hope for sure we get weapons on the offense in the draft. Dude, we need them. We totally do. Sorry about that, Neville. Back to you. Raiders fan since 87, just subscribed. I appreciate that. Me and you look like we got into the game right about the same time, so I would imagine you're pretty much sitting right about the same age I am. Sway99. I don't think we're going to have 3 linebackers in a nickel package or run a 4-3 on third down. Wouldn't mind Queen, though, but we really need a wide receiver and a cornerback. We ran nickel, what was it, like 70% of the time last season, so I don't know if it was because we didn't have the linebackers, but you look around the defense around the league, a lot of people run that nickel package now just because it puts the extra safety out there, so you have the extra coverage since it is so pass heavy. So Sway, you might be absolutely correct about that. I'm just curious to see if we can get in, if we get another linebacker, or if we do run that true 4-3. Clint, I don't know why people keep thinking the Raiders need a third linebacker. They don't want to play 3 linebackers. They played nickel 73% of the time by design. They do need to upgrade Joyner. Yes, hopefully they have a backup plan for that because he's not going to start there. What they will do in the draft, hopefully, is draft a depth piece like Troy Dye. A lot of people have been throwing that name around too, so I'm curious to see about that. I honestly haven't watched too much tape about that kid, but I've seen him a pretty decent good bit out there. Fulton is better than Henderson. Henderson run fast, but he plays like Conley. Nobody wants to see that shit again. Saw that movie over it. Fulton had Judy, Ruggs, and Lamb to target. 11 targets and only 3 catches and 0 TDs. That's actually pretty damn good. I truly don't know much about Fulton either, so I will have to check him out. The numbers came out there. Love the fusion of Dragon Ball, the Raiders. Get it? Fusion. Ha. Oh man, the numbers. That dude ended up being a pretty cool dude. We went back and forth in the comments for a few minutes. Abe says, where do you see Dion Jordan letting him go? At this point right now, if we bring in somebody on that defensive line, I think that does spell the end for Dion Jordan out there. I liked him, man. I thought he played well for us. I thought he came out there and did a really good job. But if we go out there in the third and get somebody like that Raekwon Davis out of Alabama, like, that's the end of it for him. So it'll suck to see, but he's another one of those dudes that's sitting out there in limbo, which I'll talk about this real quick, because I saw the other day that Washington went out there and signed with the Chiefs, and a lot of people were pissed off about it. When it gets to the point in free agency that we're in right now, if you don't have a job and you're sitting out there, you don't give 2 shits who calls and says, hey, you want to come play for us. You take that job. So I like Washington. I wish him the best. It sucks that he is a Chief, but at the same time, any team that would have called him at that point, he would have, yeah, man, I'm there. Let's do this. Raiders Fancast, we need more corners. We definitely need more corners. I mean, it's a glaring hole. I'm really thinking we still get one in the first, and then I think we'll probably end up getting another one later in that draft. I think that's probably why you're trying to see them stockpile picks, so we can go out there and get a few of them and bring them in here. But there's definitely at least 2 more coming. Zach, what's happening, dude? Welcome to the show. Kirby, biggest needs also a wide receiver. We need a number 1, and when we get that, and when we get a beast, we'll do awesome. I mean, a true number 1 wide receiver on this team would flip this entire damn team. There's no arguing that. I mean, it is what it is. But a true rookie is not going to come in there and be like an all-star number 1 right off the bat. That shit, it's like once in a lifetime that you'll see that shit. So as far as getting a true number 1 out there, we might draft him this year. He's not going to be a true number 1 for probably a year or 2. But I mean, saw Coop come in there. He ended up pulling off $1,000. So it all depends on that boy. All depends on Carr, what he could do with it. Sakaya, Sanjoku, I love Johnson as a starting corner. I want him to win that job, dude. I truly, truly do. Ariel, there's still time, and we have the cap space to rent a vet for 1 or 2 years. I think we draft a wide receiver and a linebacker. The more and more I've seen about it now, it's looking like we're not going to go out there and get a linebacker, which I know it's going to piss Gorb off because we were talking about it that we need to get one of these first-round linebackers, but I really don't think it's going to happen. I really think it's looking more like it's going to be wide receiver corner at this point. So, but I mean, who knows what's going to happen on draft day? But if I had to guess, that would be my guess: wide receiver corner. Gorb, now that's a family. Talking about that defense we have, dude, I'm telling you, I got like 6 thumbs down on that video, but I don't get it, man, because this team looks jacked. It's probably Chiefs fans out there pissed off that they're going to have to face this twice a season. One more linebacker and a cornerback, and I think our defense will be waiting for our offense to score, and then we win. That would be a truly welcome change. DeMarco's, AJ Terrell, and Mullen, no fly zone. I mean, if those dudes could be 2 shutdown corners, man, I would be happy as shit about that. When was the last time Oakland had a shutdown, or Vegas had a shutdown corner on both sides of the field? It's been a long, long time. Abraham, lots of thumbs up. Take it. Hope you're doing well. Brad, we trade up to 7 with the Panthers and get Simmons. Isaiah Simmons from Clemson is a monster. That dude is a monster. I do not know if we will pull that trade off, but if we moved up and got Simmons, I'd be happy as shit. Everybody out there would be happy as shit. Just don't know what it would cost us to move up those spots. But, I mean, it's draft day, dude. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So you can go out there and Simmons drops, Okudah drops. One of those 2 drops, and then all of a sudden our 12th pick is just a true stud. So, very curious to see what happens. Chris, at first I was thinking 2 of the top 3 wide receivers in the draft. But with the wide receiver depth, I'm starting to think Murray and Queen in the first. Who knows what will happen? But I want a true number 1 receiver and a linebacker and a DB. Catch up. Chiefs kept a good core of the players. We better come out with fire. I agree. With Joku, doubt the rookie will come out and be the number 1. Want us to draft at least 2 wide receivers. I'd like to see 2 wide receivers come out of this draft. I'd like to see 1 wide receiver come out there and beat one of those top 3 dudes that everybody's talking about, but then go out there and get like that burner, like return guy to go out there and just kind of compete with Rico Gafford, see if he can outwin him, and then see if one of those dudes can come out there and be like that not really dependable receiver, but just that true return man, because we're going to be missing that shit. I'm telling you right now. If we go out there and get a rookie, it sucks having a rookie back there in some pressure situations, but at the same time, they have what it takes to just bust a play and open a game completely up for us. Jerry says, offensive wide receiver at 12, then linebacker at 19. I mean, that seems to be like the set that everybody's talking about. They want a wide receiver at 12, they want a linebacker at 19. I mean, you can't argue it, but I am going to argue it because I really think that 19 spot's going to end up being a cornerback. I just don't know who it's going to be. You guys made it pretty clear you don't want it to be Henderson. I understand your argument on it. It's just all going to depend on who's on the board. And then if it's nobody brilliant, then we will trade back that 19. I'd pretty much guarantee that. Ty the High Roller. I like how the defense is shaping up. John and Mayock have done a great job filling in a lot of the holes with room to improve in the draft. I like Henderson, Fulton, Murray, Queen, Winfield Jr., McKinney, and Delpit, or trade down. So that's pretty much it. Like 2 of those dudes, like I said, I don't know too much about them, but if those top dudes aren't on the board at 19, you might as well trade that shit back. There's no reason not to. Papa says, I have no faith in Abram. And I'll tell you right now, I responded to him. We talked about it for a second. Abram has a lot to prove. And I mean, he made a good point. Let me go into his replies real quick. He said, some people have anointed Abrams the future Hall of Famer, yet all he has done is run his mouth on Hard Knocks, then fly around the first game overzealous, and that's why he hurt a teammate and then ruined his own season, all in the season opener. I mean, it's true, man. We all saw that shit happen. We all saw it go down. I like Abram. I really think Abram's going to show up and make a huge impact. I'm a firm believer that if you're going to talk that much shit, you have to go out there and back it up. It is what it is. So I'm waiting. I think him and Randall back there are going to be a massive combination. I think it's going to be a drastic improvement. I think it's going to make Joyner look like the Joyner of old. And I'm curious to see if that's true, because if it's not, we are overpaying that dude grossly. Oregon, what's happening, Dan? One of my longest subs out there. I don't know why this fucking thing keeps closing out. I get your argument for Queen and respect it. I believe that we take the best player on the board, and if Murray is there, he is the pick. I would literally cream in my jeans if we got CeeDee Lamb and Murray. I would be okay with Queen, but it's not my first pick. And I mean, I said it the other day in the video. I do think Murray is the better linebacker of the two, but position-wise and situation-wise and the coverage that he's going to have to do, I just think Queen's a faster option. And I'm big on speed, especially with the way that the NFL is played right now. Speed is king right now, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because you got to be able to keep up with all these giant fast-ass tight ends and then these little shifty fast receivers and then just your true outside receivers that are still ballers out there. So curious to see what happens with that. Oh, Ramrod, what's going on, man? Bill Hawk, need another shutdown corner and we stay somewhat healthy. Your boy and I think the defense is onto something. Dude, that was another big thing about last season that sucked, man, was that injury bug went out there and just killed us. Like, truly, truly killed us. So hopefully we can stay true to it. I want to see what happens with it. I want to see us stay healthy for one damn year and be able to put it together. Eric says, Lamb at 12, why would you pass on a number one wide receiver? Eric, this video was pretty much just based on the defense. I was looking out for that. I truly think that we're going to take one of those big receivers at 12. It's going to be one of the best available players on the board, and there is no damn reason we would not pull that off. Quick Shot says, Henderson, no. Queen, yes. Living up to your name with a quick shot. I mean, you pretty much nailed this comment section with that comment right there. Adrian, I think we are really in need of a second rounder. That second rounder, I agree with you. I'd love to have a second rounder out here. That second rounder is going to cost us. And it's going to cost us something pretty damn big. And like I said, it's going to be a player. So who would you let go? I guess that would be my question to you. Who would you let go to get into that second round? Because you know they're not going to give up a bunch of picks to get into that second round. Chris says, I'd also love to take a defensive tackle or right tackle. Everyone's talking about trading Jackson, but our starting O-line isn't getting any younger, and Jackson is the youngest. And that's true, dude. I don't want to see either one of those dudes traded. I think our offensive line right now has a chance to go into next season, and even if it's only for a year or two, be one of the best offensive lines in football. I see no reason they should go out there and jack it up, but I don't know, man. You give those guys a bunch of room, you get a decent trade offer, and you got Gruden and Mayock. There was not a damn soul on this team that's safe, so that's what I'm curious to see. Gary says, Hurst did step up, and we kept allowing Hall action. That did happen, and I don't know if he was just testing them both out, but at the same time, Hurst did get hurt for a minute there, so that did suck to see. But I don't think you're going to see Hall get too much action this coming season. I don't even think you'll see Hall. There's a good chance he doesn't make it through camp on this team, especially with Marinelli coming in there, so I'm curious to see what happens with that. Terrell says, just a question, would you take Kinlaw at 12 overall pick, or just to make our defense even better? Oh, Grimy, what's happening, dude? I like Kinlaw. I love his backstory. Dude reminds me, I mean, it's pretty much, he came up like Josh Jacobs. You saw the kind of heart that he has, and I guarantee you Kinlaw is that same kind of kid. When you go through that shit, it changes you as a person. And then when you get shit, you truly, truly appreciate it on a way different level than most people do. Kinlaw could end up being a huge difference maker for us. There's been a lot of talk of this happening at 12. And I'll tell you, man, if he's sitting out there, take him, man. Take him. I like that kid. That kid is one of those players that you could truly build around, and it would just really completely solidify this defensive line. So I wouldn't be pissed if that ended up happening at 12. Jason says, bro, we're going to get CeeDee Lamb. Dude, I'm pulling for it. I'd love to have Lamb on this team. Matt says, what's up? Saw Joku finally caught you live. What are your thoughts on the black on black alternate color rush jerseys? Dude, I love them. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of people kind of didn't like it. I love that shit, dude. I do not even care. Jason says, greedy for CD. Dude, I'll tell you, man. And even him or Judy, either one of those dudes would be great, but Lamb is my number one. He truly, truly is out there, so I want to see what happens with that. Bob, our defense is already pretty much set, as you say, and I love your analysis, except for one thing, the draft. There's only one person in this year's draft as we stand that could put us over the top and give this chance to compete with the Kansas City, and that's Henry Ruggs. He makes everybody on the offense better. He will stretch the defense. Our 4-4 guys, William and Waller, won't be working back won't be working back with the defense because the safeties aren't going to be 10 yards back. I mean, and you're right, dude. And Ruggs will do that. But a lot of these receivers out there will do that, Bob. They will, I'm telling you. Even that little speedy dude that you take real late. I mean, damn, what's his name on Kansas City, dude? The Tyreek Hill. That dude was a 5th-round pick. Just a true burner dude. But then they realized that they had one of the fastest dudes in the NFL that actually had hands, which is a very rare combination. But if we could end up landing one of those dudes, and then we put CeeDee Lamb or Judy up there in the top ones, that's a fucking difference maker. But that's a really good point, Bob. Brady Pease, besides receiver. Raider Rich, good show. Are you sure Henderson is the fit with the athletic profile the Raiders look for in a cornerback? I don't see a press corner. Just curious what you think. I talked about that in the other video, and that's what a lot of people brought up. That's why, I mean, I damn well could have been wrong. I just want some depth at that cornerback position, and I want it looking good. Thailand Moore says, CCP, coronavirus, sir. Darth Raider, Lamb at 12, Henderson at 19, or trade back 19 to take Diggs, and bam, we have our 2nd-round pick. Like, that's what you could do. You could trade back and just trade into the 2nd with that 1st round, and then maybe get a 4th or 5th-round pick with it. That's a very real possibility out there. Can pick up Greenyard, Dye, or Gaither in the 3rd at linebacker. Lamb may go to the Cardinals because of Murray, which would suck because he was a top receiver. And then Judy is next, but he's similar to Cooper. That's the last damn thing I want is another Coop on this fucking team. So we'll see what happens with that. But that is a really good way to get that 2nd-round pick and maybe a little more value on the back end. So good call on that. Matt says, I think if we draft Ruggs, we need to draft another running back like Rieger, Pittman, etc. I don't think there will be a premier wide receiver like Lamb or Judy will be at the next level. I don't think they will either. I truly do not. I didn't realize how much about Marinelli. Wait, I didn't really know much about Marinelli, so I went by what everybody was saying, and I got excited. But then my cousin, the Lions fan, reminded me he was the Lions head coach. Yeah, that is true, man. When they put up the worst record. Yeah, that... I mean, oh my God, I so want that black on black jersey. I mean, I'm going to get one. I promise you that. I promise you I'll have one of those. King says, our defense is lit. We just need a cornerback. But at pick 19, not 12, we got to get the good wide receiver at 12. I mean, and we do. We truly have to. At this point, we have to get that dude at 12. Devontae says, wish we were able to get Queen in the 2nd round. If he's there in the 2nd round, teams are flat out crazy. Here's my draft. CeeDee Lamb at 12, Queen at 19, trade into the 2nd for a cornerback, and then quality depth. I do like Johnson as a starter if he's ready. The beast of Madden if you play him through the preseason. But adding depth at the position or a solid number 2 in case would help. I like Morrow, but if we can get Queen and add that linebacker group is sick. I do hope Hurst starts alongside Collins. I don't know why they keep taking him out. He won that Bears game for us when he collapsed the pocket. With that front, you could have Queen and the linebackers. See, dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. You could have such a serious front out there if you brought in one more linebacker on this team. Queen or Murray, man. And I know we're losing a little bit of speed, but the power that you gain on that field makes a huge, huge difference out there. William says, we need to trade back at 19, CD or JJ at 12. And then we could flip 19 and 81 for Seattle's 27 and 59. I don't know, that's Seattle giving up a good bit. Take A.J. Terrell or Diggs at 27. Zach Braun or Willie Gay. I do like Willie Gay Jr. a good bit. We'd still have 80 and 91 plus the 4th and 5th round. So, I mean, that's a definite possibility out there. I'd be curious to see what happens with that. Granny says like both linebackers. Either one of those linebackers, Granny, would be such a big addition to this team. It would be insane for us. No, where were we? Brady says, if Johnson steps up and the potential which he would have, I would love to see a linebacker and our number 1 need. I'm curious to see, man. I want to see if they go after a linebacker. I still think they really want to push this secondary, but we got to fill these holes on the offense too, so I'm curious to see which way they go with it. Michael says, I think we should trade back with Miami, the 19 for the 26 and 37, I believe is theirs. So 12 we get a cornerback, and then 26 we get Mims. Mims is just as fast as Judy, but he's taller and 15 more pounds. So he'd be better in the red zone. Gruden and Mayock like a wide receiver that can block, which he can. What do you think? Dude, I'm a big Mims fan. I truly am. I truly like that kid. I think he's going to make a huge difference for this team if we end up landing him. But I just understand that he's not in that 12 or 19 spot, and I really don't know if those picks are going anywhere. Figures Riggs will not be available at 19. In fact, San Francisco traded up for that 13th pick just so they could get him. Then you have the Denver Broncos, who will snatch Ruggs in a heartbeat and honestly need a wide receiver more than we do. Christian Fulton out of LSU or Tavon Diggs should be available at 19. If not, C.J. Henderson. A lot of you guys like that Fulton kid more than Henderson. I need to go watch some tape on him. I didn't see where we reach Henderson, and we already have a number one cornerback in Mullins. And then we all know Isaiah Johnson could turn into that pretty solid number two. And he could, dude. I really hope that he does. If he doesn't, I want to have a backup plan so we're not just screwed. And Andrew says C.J. Henderson's too high at 12. We need a wide receiver. We must score points. I mean, you have to. If you're going to win a football game, you have to win some points. Really like Shaq Quarterman if they want him in the later rounds. Jonathan says, would you take Kenneth Murray if he drops to 19? I mean, honestly, at this point, I really think it's all going to depend on what we do with that first pick. It truly is. Mims is good. He might be a first-round pick. Mims will go in that first round. I promise you that. That dude has some true talent out there. Jeffrey says, just saying don't sleep on A.J. Terrell. We saw Mullins' teammate in Clemson. He flashes something special. Could very well see Mayock allowing the team to trade up to 19 to move down and just snatch him in the second round. I could see that, and then taking Lamb or Ruggs. A lot of people high on Ruggs still. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try to say your name. It is what it is. So, Joku, I like your choices. However, we cannot sleep on linebacker Willie Gay out of Mississippi State. This dude is a 3-down linebacker. He does it all. He's great in coverage. He's a great tackler. He has great size, 6'2", 240. That is fucking crazy size, and good speed at 4.46. I will go check out his highlight reels. There's a lot of people that have been talking about him. I've watched a few little videos about him, but I really need to go out there and kind of break him down because there's been a lot of talk about that dude. We're winding them down here. See all those little hearts going through there? I do my best to respond to you guys on all these damn things. The whole reason I started this was just to be able to bullshit some Raider football. Oh, Mark, I read your comment earlier today when I was at work. Mark was totally pissed about us not going after DeAndre Hopkins, especially for the price that he ended up going at, because he did go out there so cheap. So, I'm with you, dude. There was no talk about it at all. Like, at all, when he came out. And then all of a sudden, he was just gone. It seemed like it was almost pre-made before they set that shit up. Bronner says, trade up and get a cornerback, Jeff Okudah. I love Jeff Okudah. Truly love that kid. I want to see what ends up happening with him. If he drops by some fucking miracle to 12, that would be such a difference maker for us. I don't know what we'd have to give up to trade up. If we traded up and got Okudah, I'd be happy as shit. I am not going to lie. He will be better than Jalen Ramsey. Look, we play the Chiefs. We need an all-pro corner out there that can handle the Chiefs. Okudah is that man. We rank 25th worst in pass defense. With Okudah, opposing teams will convert less third downs, get Carr back on the field. We will have a top 5 defense. That's a bold-ass statement right there. Giving Vegas a top 5 defense. Okudah will make multiple Pro Bowls, make him a Raider. I'd love to see that big kid be a Raider. I still don't think it would push us into that top 5 defense. But at the same time, I'm just like guys sitting here telling you we're going to have top 10. But I'm still putting us right around that 9 or 10 spot. But that's such a difference maker for this team. It is what it is. It's Fargo. Now they need to get Ruggs at 12 and Denzel Mims at 19. The old double dip, man. I love the double dip scenario out there where we go out there and pluck 2 receivers off the board. No, that shit won't happen. Not in the first like that. I think we will end up taking 2 throughout the draft. But if they double dip, dude, I'd be going crazy. I'd be screaming at the TV, jumping around. Williams, season ticket holder since 1973. Gruden has been planning this move for years. Don't be surprised when Carr is traded during the draft. It's going to happen. Carr is either going to Cincinnati or the Patriots. if Carr gets traded, I will accept it. It is what it is. I don't think it's the right move. If Carr gets traded to the Patriots, I will be so pissed off. Especially if he goes out there and lights it up and becomes the fucking next Brady and we had him on our team and shoveled that shit away. That would literally break my fucking heart, dude. Andrew says, I've been watching the 1997 through 2001 Oakland Raiders. Gruden third season, and he takes us to the AFC Championship game. Gannon gets hurt. Something I noticed was our defense. The defense back then was really good. Carr has never had a good defense. It's cool how similar Oakland and Las Vegas Raiders look with Gruden's first stint with the Raiders. That is true, dude, and he has been jacking this team and trying to build it that exact same way. And we're in that third year, just like he was in that third year. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling all you guys out there, this shit's about to go off. It's about to be huge, and I cannot wait to see it out there. I'm curious of how fast receivers go in the draft, if they go as fast in teams, or if teams wait. And I think it was either last year or the year before, there was a bunch of good receivers out there, and they waited. Every team waited, and they ended up all going in the second. So that's what I'm saying. I'm curious to see what happens with that too. Chris, Mo Hurst is underrated, underappreciated. Pairing him with Collins could be something special, especially if you have Farrell and Max Crosby on the outside of that shit, dude. That is going to be special. I am telling you that right now. Like, truly going to be special. Jonathan says, I'll be pissed if the Jags get Lamb and the Jets get Judy. That would be a shit scenario for us. Zach says, I think our base defense would be too small with Kwiatkowski in the middle and Littleton and Queen on the outside. Murray is the middle and Kwiatkowski is the side linebacker, or the same linebacker, and Littleton is the wide. Make more sense to me. That would actually end up looking pretty damn good too. I think you're going to end up seeing Littleton in that middle position a good bit, and the way that Gunther likes to run it, he puts them in that A and B gap, so you'll probably see Kwiatkowski and Littleton kind of just hovering right in those gaps to start most of the plays. But then that's where it comes in. Like if you're running the nickel, you got Joyner sitting in there. If you're running the 4-3, then you have Queen or Murray sitting out there. And Murray doesn't fit that role. Murray fits that middle position. But I'm telling you, man, Littleton has that middle position locked down. So it is what it is. The Texans, LOL. Kirby, what's happening, man? Jonathan, get Carr a defense in the top 20 and we'll be okay. Carr hasn't had a good defense at all. He hasn't, dude. He truly has not. You give him a lights-out defense, you're going to see a totally different team. What do you think about the running back? Build that committee. I do, man, and I've said it a lot, Grammy, on this channel. A.J. Dillon in the fourth, that is like my go-to guy out there. I really want to see us make that move. I think we'll be able to get him late. The other thing I wanted to say, and I know I'll probably catch a good bit of shit about this, but what would you guys think about trading back that 19 spot and then at like 25 or 26 pulling and getting Swift? Could you imagine the two running back, two linebacker sets we could, or the two running back, two tight end sets we could run? Having both those dudes on the field, that would make a big, big ass difference. So let me know your thoughts on that one. Kakarot Raider here. Oh, Kakarot, what's happening? Numbers, what's going on, dude? Kakarot. Oh, Chase Claypool or Henry Ruggs? Oh man, that's a damn good question right there. Ruggs has the speed. You got to go with the speed at that point. But I really like Claypool, and I think Claypool you'll end up getting a lot later than you'll get Ruggs, so I'd be taking that. Sweet bro, lots of playmakers. Dude, we'd be lit up at that point, man, and that's what it's all about. It's just having those dudes out there that can, at one instant, just totally turn a game and put you guys on top. Well, that's it, man. I covered everybody's comments. I just wanted to put it out there, let you guys see, to give everybody your opinions on it. Thank you guys that came out for the live chat and jumped into it. You know I truly love that. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to it. If you're pissed off that I read out your things, I mean, it's your opinion. People deserve to hear your opinion. But I appreciate you guys, man. Until next time, I'm Son Joku. We will see you guys later.